California dreamin'. I'm Jeff Stein with today's Iowa Politics Report. A recall election was held in California Tuesday, and unlike the case 18 years ago, the governor held on to his seat. But before too many on either side start making broad declarations regarding what it all means, let's just look at some basic numbers. 64% voted to retain Gavin Newsom, but exit poll showed that barely a majority, 55%, approved of the job he was doing in office. So in other words, 9% don't like him as governor, but held their noses and voted for him anyway. Why? Well, perhaps simply because he was a Democrat and voting him out meant a Republican might take over. Or maybe it was because the leading challenger was Larry Elder and they did not want him as governor. For Newsom, though, to declare victory and say it was a referendum on his work is like a guy born on third base who claims he hit a triple. He was far behind in the polls when the race was simply about his record. Once Elder emerged as a challenger, Newsom turned it away from his record and instead used scare tactics about Trump Republicans. And that strategy led him to survive the challenge. A good move on his part. Understand that there are 5 million more registered Democrats than Republicans in California. A total of 46.5% of all registered voters in the Golden State are Democrats, compared with only 24.0% saying they are Republicans and 23.2% registered as no-party voters. In other words, you'd have to get all the Republicans and no-party voters together just to barely surpass the number of Democrats. The last successful recall challenge in 2003 had Arnold Schwarzenegger taking over when Gray Davis was tossed out. Davis's favorability rating on Election Day was 26% compared with Newsom's 55%. You see, Democrats split in 2003 but stayed united this year. So if there are lessons to be learned, they're probably limited to that state and this election, despite the grand proclamations about what the vote means nationally. That's usually the case, after all politics being local and such. And that's the Iowa Politics Report for Thursday, September 16. On Twitter, Instagram, Getter, and Parler at Iowa Politics. I'm Jeff Stein on News Talk 1540 KXEL.